So what I'm going to try and need to do here is remove this horn contact ring from this VW Mark II era steering wheel and replace it with this horn contact ring. And the reason is that we've got this worn out section where it's not just dirty or corroded or something I can clean off, but the actual brass, metal, or whatever the material is worn through down to the next layer, whether that's plastic or metal, I'm not sure. But instead of trying to fix it somehow, I just have this much better condition ring that I'm going to swap in from another steering wheel I have. And what's different about this one compared to the older one is that it doesn't have mounting screws, so you got to take a different approach to remove it. So there might be a better way to do this, but what worked for me is using 2 small flathead screwdrivers and a pick tool. So essentially what you're going to need to do is get all 3 of these plastic tabs compressed virtually at the same time. And then note how the metal surrounding it is kind of a keyhole shape. You can get a 3rd tool in here into that slot and start pushing outwards, and that'll eventually start to push the horn contact ring outwards on that other end. Now, this black wire is actually connected directly to that brass ring. It's not just a spade connector you can pull out. You could kind of just pry open the metal connection here and remove the wire, but I'm choosing to remove the whole ring with it still intact. But you will eventually have to disconnect the wires from both horn buttons on the steering wheel. And then you can use, then you'll see why also that this has a keyhole shape, because then you can fish out the spade connectors, which can be removed from the horn button contacts. And then you can fish it out like that. So I'm not going to attempt to show the whole process on camera because it's going to be too fiddly with my hands getting in the way and the camera going out of focus. But you will want to start off with the flathead screwdrivers, pushing in those tabs, and you'll kind of just need to figure out when it's best to use the flathead versus the pick tool. But once you get them to a certain point, then you'll want to use that slot and get a tool in there to start pushing out on the ring at the same time. So it took a good bit of fiddling. I ended up moving the steering wheel to my lap, which gave me better leverage, if that makes any sense, and ended up swapping the flathead screwdrivers around with the pick tool until they're just the right combination, got everything into place where I could start to push it out, and I've got it so where it's just now able to start to get pushed out. So almost there. Let's just flip this around. Now we can start to pry it out from the other side. There it is. And then for comparison, this is the one I'm going to swap in. Here's what the back side looks like. Just kind of a close-up of how it looks there. So it just connects to this. It's all the same piece as far as I can tell. But if you really want it, you can, this is what I was talking about, where you can kind of pry this open and then pull out the wire. So that is how you remove the horn contact ring off the Mark II type VW for Scirocco's, Golfs, and whatever else is similar that does not have the screws. The next step is to pop out the horn buttons from the steering wheel on the other side to remove the black wires, and there is a separate video for that.